Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Foley Long, and I am here with Jason Bailey. Jason Bailey, this is awesome to have you here. I don't think you've ever been here, but we are around each other just about twice a month for Toastmasters.
Good to be here, yeah.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here because this is kind of a milestone. 5 years for St. Mary Parish Toastmasters. First, I want to ask you, how did you even think about bringing St. Mary Parish Toastmasters to life?
Well, I was actually in a Toastmasters club when I was working at a former employer. It was a private club, and we did a lot of personal development at that company. And one thing about Toastmasters, it works on your public speaking skills, but also we talked a little bit about this, it also works on your listening skills. But I can tell you, it was roughly 15 years ago when I was at that club and at that prior employer, I did everything not to speak. They would call for roles, and I would put my head down and make sure they wouldn't call me.
And the person that I know today, I could not imagine that because you're pretty outspoken. So kind of take me through that transition for you, of who you were then to who you are now.
Yeah, so it all started out when I was a little kid. I really didn't speak. If you tried to engage me in conversation, you had to pull it out of me. So I was, I guess you could say, very bashful, shy kid, but I don't think I was I wasn't as bashful or shy as what people thought. So I think more so what it was is I didn't know my true worth as a person. And through years of struggle and years of also personal development, which Toastmasters had brought some of that personal development to me, I was able to find my voice and start speaking up for myself and speak out.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think the number one fear in the world, I believe, is public speaking. And sometimes it has something to do maybe with some trauma that you've experienced in life. And you speaking on that, so many people are feeling that, are in the same shoes as you because they had that fear. Something happened to them when they were younger that caused them to shut down, and some people are still living with that. And I can actually speak about Toastmasters a little bit because that's something that has helped me. And a lot of folks say, well, you're on TV all the time. But there were so many things that I knew about myself that I was able to see through Toastmasters. And let's talk about that. People think it's just about public speaking. There's so much more. You mentioned active listening.
Yes.
What are some other things that you can learn through Toastmasters?
Well, there's so many things you can learn from Toastmasters. We talked about, I'd often get people telling me like, man, you're a really good listener. And I do attribute that to Toastmasters because you have to really learn and work on the skill of active listening through several of the exercises that we have. But also, it's not just about public speaking. It's about impromptu speaking, being able to think quicker, think on your feet about what to say next. A lot of people, I've experienced this in the past. Someone will ask a question and it's kind of like deer in the headlights, like open mouth, So it's like, what do I say? But you can learn how to effectively fill that silence instead of stumbling. So it gives you more confidence.
Yes.
Ultimately, it gives you more confidence. And also you can learn how to run a meeting, the rules of running a meeting. There's a lot of great things to learn from Toastmasters. And one of the best things is networking. You develop relationships with people who are on a similar path. They're also doing personal development because this is really a personal development club. That's effectively, what it is.
Yeah, and I was telling you about this before. We have fun.
Yeah,
we have fun, and
we have a blast.
I go into the schools, and particularly for those who are 18, because this is an 18 and up club. I tell them, for you young men that don't know how to date, this is the perfect way to learn how to talk to a young lady.
Yes.
It is very good for interpersonal skills. networking is definitely
Networking.
key. And also any type of professional goals. If you're saying, I want to be a presenter, I want to be a better presenter, even emotional intelligence. Learn your emotional intelligence. These are now some trendy words that we hear nowadays, and there's a lot to learn from this. So we're going to take a short break because actually there's something special coming up with Toastmasters, and I'd love for you guys to hear more about it. Stay right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Long. With me, we have Jason Bailey, who is the founder of the St. Mary Parish Toastmasters Club. And I'm excited to be a part of it. But here's some really good news. 5 years it has been in existence. Did you foresee this happening? I know for some people, they're like, that's a little toddler. But to see it from its inception to where it is now, did you foresee this being around 4 or 5 years?
Well, Danica, I was hoping it would be, but at the time that I was putting the club together and making calls to organize it, I really didn't see it. I wasn't looking out that far. Mm-hmm. I was really doing this, to be in all honesty, for my own personal reasons because I knew I needed it. And the thing about it is, in order to have a club, you have to have 20 people. So I couldn't do it by myself. So I got on the phone and called 19 other people.
Yeah, closest friends.
Yeah, closest friends. And I said, hey, would you want to do this with me? And, here we are 5 years later. Yeah. And I think the club, the direction of the club has been going, absolutely great.
And here you are, you're not only just the founder of this particular chapter, you're now the treasurer. You are back actually now as because you have been president, correct?
Right.
You started off as
correct.
President, and now you're back and you're in the treasurer seat.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's good. It's kind of almost like full circle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So 5 years. Go ahead.
Full circle for the 5 year. Yes. For the 5 year anniversary here.
And speaking of which, every time that there's, every year when there's new elected officials that come on board, there's an open house. But there's an open house that says it's a sip and see. So tell me a little bit about this sip and see.
So sip and see, essentially what it is we're going to have some beverages, and you just come in a very relaxed atmosphere and see what it's about. If it's something that maybe you could benefit from, stick around and join us. If not, no hard feelings. Yeah. We just want to get it out to the community because it's such a value added to our community, especially for the nominal cost. It's hard to find if you're one who is into personal development, the cost of Toastmasters versus the benefit. The benefit far outweighs the cost.
Yeah. So again, the Sip and See is going to be held at Hampton Inn, which is right here in Morgan City. And as well as you see on the screen, it has the 2 meeting dates. But typically, meeting dates are the 2nd and 4th Thursday. However, I see on here July 21st and July 28th. Of course, just to date today's show, it is the 22nd of July. So you guys had a meeting yesterday. Why was it moved to the 3rd and 4th Thursday of the month?
It was moved because we also like to participate in community events, and the second weekend in July, or Thursday in July, was the Barbecue Bash kickoff party. So a lot of the members were actually at the Barbecue Bash kickoff party.
Right.
So that's why we had moved it.
Okay. In addition to it being obviously personal and professional development for so many people, can you kind of pinpoint specifically what has it done for you? Obviously, you said your active listening skill has gotten better, but anything else is within your job, even personally, like if you can really pinpoint what has changed about you?
Whenever you're doing personal development, it's hard to see your own improvement and change, but other people do see it. So I would say what it's done was it it has definitely opened up more doors for me. It's opened up. I'm willing to get on camera and do, videos. Actually, when I first started at my current employer, I did a 100-day, 100-video challenge. That's something that I would have never in a million years thought I would be able to do. And at the time, I thought, I was like, this is crazy. So, yeah, it's really, I think more than anything, it's inspired a lot of confidence.
Awesome. And right, and I think that's actually in the mission statement.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So we're going to take a short break, but come on back. We've got much more to cover right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Jason Bailey, who is the founder and current treasurer of St. Mary Parish Toastmasters. St. Mary Parish Toastmasters meets again second and fourth Thursday of the month. So the next meeting is going to be July 28th. Can you tell me where you guys meet? How, if I'm interested, where do I go?
Yeah, we're currently meeting. There's a couple options. We're currently meeting at Innermore, the Innermore facility on Youngs Road, and then also we have a meeting online where you can join by Zoom.
And what's the time, and how long do you typically meet?
So the time is 5:30 p.m. to last typically an hour to 6:30 p.m. on Thursdays.
Yeah. Sometimes we have a little too much fun, and we might go over maybe an hour, 15 minutes or so.
Right.
But typically we kind of in and out in an hour. And like you said, so I mentioned that it's fun. So don't take my word for it. Kind of tell me, why is it so much fun?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because whenever you have people who are wanting to do, better themselves, for example, impromptu speaking, table topics, for example. The table topics that we had recently, I believe you had given them. They were like really fun and different table topics where you just it was a little random, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's fun to grow in that way.
And something I noticed with myself, but I also noticed with you, I think that's because we're in table topics. My mom would always say, think before you speak. My husband says that too. But think before you speak.
Right.
Do you find yourself doing that more now?
I find myself being able to think before I speak, but also think before I speak more efficiently, because it's definitely something that can be practiced as a skill. So table topics does allow you to practice that skill, whereas before you're not actively doing it.
Let's talk about being nervous. I tell anybody and everybody, it is normal, very normal, to feel nervous.
Yes.
Do you still feel nervous?
I have to say yes, I do, but I know it's kind of like going to the gym, okay? If you go to the gym enough times, you're going to get more confident with the amount of weight you can lift or miles you can run, whatever the exercise may be. You're going to get more proficient at it. The thing about it is that I'm confident in my ability to speak because I've done it so many times. So I do have some nervousness every now and then, but I kind of set it aside because I know, like, wait, okay, but I've been doing this a while now.
Yeah, so it's kind of a control thing.
It is.
Yeah, you're not going to pass out. You're going to be fine.
Right.
And
right.
I want to say one thing about Toastmasters. You have a great support system at Toastmasters. Yeah. People are you're not even going to be your own hype man. We're going to be hyping you up because that's pretty much what we do. I want to plug one more time the Sip and See. So again, August 18th, put it in your calendar. Be there 5:30 p.m. at the Hampton Inn, which is right here in Morgan City. Now, that is not going to be hybrid. It's not going to be on Zoom like typically our meetings are hybrid or online. But if you can, come out and network. There's no pressure to join. You can come out. We'll also have a guest speaker. Tell us a little bit about the guest speaker.
Yeah, the guest speaker is going to be Jeff Harris. He's a longtime Toastmaster. He actually helped us start the club here in St. Mary Parish several years ago, and he is an all-around great speaker and great guy. I've been knowing Jeff for several years now.
And I wanted to say how good networking is because I got an opportunity to meet him myself, but via Zoom. So when this pandemic world, you still can meet people, but meet them by way of the virtual realm. So we're going to take another break, one more break before we have to wrap things up, but come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, my guest is Jason Bailey, who is the founder and current treasurer of St. Mary Parish Toastmasters. Again, we've kind of talked about it being for business professionals. You want to get better with your presentation, your active listening, but who needs Toastmasters? Is it just business professionals?
It's not just business professionals. There's definitely a place for everyone who desires to improve the communication skills, because if you think about it, we're all leaders in some aspect, whether we're a father or a mother or we're in the community, whatever it may be. Communication is so key that even communicating to your kids, you know, if you're listening, you want to actively listen to them, because sometimes you don't want to listen.
Yes.
So it's important to actively listen to your kids. I mean, maybe your significant other, anybody really, to really hear and understand what's being said. So I would say, communication, of course, we know is a two-way street. It's communicating, but it's also listening, and that's one thing. If you're struggling with either one of those or both, like I did for so many years, Toastmasters is a viable resource for that.
Yes. And I think people get so caught up on, I have to give a speech. Sometimes you're just there to hear other people give a speech.
You know, Danica, that's right. Every single time that I can speak for myself, and maybe I can speak for you in this, every single time I go to Toastmasters meeting, there's something so inspirational that comes out of it, something so like it just gets to my soul. It speaks to my soul. And I wanted to say that, you know, it's a really, really safe space. It is where, you know, out there in the world, you're going to go and maybe you'll be judged for your speech, but here you're going to be supported and celebrated for your speech. So it is a very safe space. We make sure we keep it that way, and just maintaining certain standards.
I want to tell you something that you gave me an evaluation on, and I still hold on to that till today. I remember doing a speech, and you told me, try utilizing your vocal abilities. What is it? The
vocal variety.
Vocal variety, thank you. And I gave that speech, and I thought about it, and you even gave me an example. I have always, and I have used that ever since. I don't use it in every speech, but I definitely used it in the speech that allowed me to win the District 68 International Speech Contest. And that is because of your evaluation that I still hold on to today. And even in this new realm that I'm going into, I'm wanting to be a coach to help other people with their communication and speech. That is one thing that I still hold to today. That, and I believe, I don't know who told me this, but it's about the pause. I think maybe the pause was in there too. Utilizing the pause. I'm telling you. So I will tell you, like, it is every time I go, you're right. It is something that does something for my soul. And look, let me tell you, here, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I am a part of Toastmasters, and I definitely can speak on it. If you are interested in what we've been saying, it is spoke to your soul. come on out August 18th. That is the Sip and See, 5:30 Hampton Inn in Morgan City. But if you're not able to make it on that date, you can also come out July 28th, which is our regular meetings.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention that at the Sip and See, we will have food, we'll have light hors d'oeuvres, and also to be able to find us, we're on Facebook, St. Mary Parish Toastmasters. So, and if you see us out in the community and you want to talk about it, Toastmasters, we're more than willing and happy to talk about Toastmasters because it's something so near and dear to our hearts.
I'm going to end on this note because I wanted to make you laugh, because when I first joined Toastmasters, everyone was so nice. I said, did they just drink the Kool-Aid? They're just too nice, but it really is a very supportive environment. I just wanted to piggyback on something you mentioned there. Thank you very much, Jason. Hopefully this is not your last time being here, right?
Right.
So, okay. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22. Take care.